Places to visit in Tanzania hold shocking hidden secrets that rewrite African history silently beneath East Africa as vast beauty. You're looking at African archaeological evidence, yet most notice only the landscape of this African nation. Welcome to Hidden Africa, where we uncover the continent's most extraordinary untold stories. Across African geography, places to visit in Tanzania anchor fascinating African civilizations and ancient African heritage. This journey through places to visit in Tanzania begins where African traditions and forgotten African empires linger. African archaeology here connects ancient Africa to powerful African rulers who shaped African kingdoms and African stories. But could these forgotten implements reveal African contribution to world technology and lost African knowledge? In Places to Visit in Tanzania, African culture and African religion truly define African identity and African pride. This moment alone proves places to visit in Tanzania hold African mysteries even experts still debate. Our Hidden Africa exploration of these places to visit in Tanzania starts with honest African history and African perspective. Now we uncover deeper African discoveries at places to visit in Tanzania, where African heritage resonates most profoundly. African research and African scholars tell us these remnants expose untold African history and hidden African narratives. Lost African kingdoms and their African queens or African kings still shape African legends and places to visit in Tanzania. But this is just the beginning. These places to visit in Tanzania connect directly to African tribes and broader African culture. African wisdom, African proverbs, and African knowledge preserved here reflect deep African philosophy and African spirituality. African nature and African landscapes reveal why places to visit in Tanzania feel both ancient and alive. This hidden African architectural trace suggests stories that African explorers and African experts rarely share publicly. How many African mysteries tied to places to visit in Tanzania remain misread without African perspective? Now our discovery of places to visit in Tanzania reveals untold African history in a way Africa is rarely shown. These places to visit in Tanzania link African legends directly to credible African studies and African research today. What if places to visit in Tanzania tell a secret African story about African inventions shaping local African development? Hidden Africa shows how places to visit in Tanzania illuminate African empires, African resistance, and African resilience. Remember, this secret space from earlier places to visit in Tanzania hint at far greater African mysteries still ahead. Oral African history and African knowledge here remind us to value African voice, African perspective, and African storytelling. Modern African progress, African development, and African tourism must honor African heritage when experiencing these places. Learn about Africa through African proverbs and African wisdom. These places to visit in Tanzania embody that knowing. As this Hidden Africa exploration closes, places to visit in Tanzania reveal themselves as incredible African historical chapters.
Imagine a continent, not just a place on a map, but a vibrant tapestry of over 50 distinct nations, each with its own rhythm, its own story. This is Africa, a land stretching from the sun-scorched sands of the Sahara to the lush, life-giving basin of the Congo River, home to Mount Kilimanjaro, piercing the clouds, and the mighty Victoria Falls thundering into a misty abyss. We often hear simplified stories, but the real Africa is a mosaic of thousands of languages and cultures, a cradle of humanity where the first human footsteps echoed through time. Its history is not one of monoliths, but a dynamic saga of powerful empires, bustling trade routes, and profound intellectual achievements. We'll journey through this history, from the scholars of Timbuktu to the great stone enclosures of Zimbabwe, uncovering a legacy far richer and more complex than you ever imagined. But have you ever wondered what secrets lie buried beneath these ancient lands? What if I told you that stories of a lost city, a Saharan Atlantis, have been whispered by nomads for centuries, tales of immense wealth and advanced knowledge vanishing under the dunes? Could there be any truth to these legends? Let's travel back in time to the kingdom of Kush, a formidable power that once rivaled and even conquered ancient Egypt. For over 1,000 years, these Nubian pharaohs, the Black Pharaohs, ruled from their capital in Meru. Their legacy is etched in the hundreds of steep-sided pyramids that still stand today, silent sentinels in the Sudanese desert. These were not just tombs, but gateways to the afterlife, centers of a civilization with its own unique writing system, the Meroitic script, a puzzle that scholars are still trying to fully decipher. They mastered ironwork, built complex irrigation systems, and controlled trade routes that brought gold, ivory, and incense to the known world. The story of Kush is a powerful reminder of Africa's ancient and glorious past, a chapter often overshadowed by its northern neighbor. But let's pause for a moment. We talk of kings and empires, but what about the queens? Have you heard of the Kandakes of Kush? These were not just royal wives. They were warrior queens, formidable rulers who led armies into battle, commanded immense respect, and governed with absolute authority. Queen Amenarina's, for example, famously took on the mighty Roman Empire and won, securing a favorable peace treaty that lasted for centuries. What does it tell us that these powerful women, these leaders of nations, are so often forgotten by history? The story continues as we move west, to the heart of the Mali Empire, one of the wealthiest in history. Its most famous ruler, Mansa Musa, embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca in the 14th century that would become the stuff of legend. His caravan was so vast, his display of wealth so extravagant, that he single-handedly caused the price of gold to plummet in Cairo for over a decade. He wasn't just a man of riches, he was a patron of learning and architecture. He transformed cities like Timbuktu into world-renowned centers of scholarship, attracting poets, artists, and academics from across the Islamic world. The Sankar Mosque, with its university, stood as a beacon of knowledge, its libraries holding hundreds of thousands of manuscripts on subjects from astronomy to law. Now, think about that journey. A procession of 60,000 men, camels laden with gold, crossing the vast Sahara Desert. It sounds almost mythical, doesn't it? But historical records from multiple cultures confirm it happened. Yet where is Mansa Musa's tomb? The final resting place of the richest man in history remains one of Africa's greatest mysteries. What treasures and secrets might it hold? Let's journey south to the coast of modern-day Tanzania. Here, a unique culture blossomed from centuries of trade across the Indian Ocean. This is the Swahili coast, a fusion of African, Arab, Persian, and Indian influences. Cities like Kilwa and Zanzibar became thriving cosmopolitan hubs. Picture yourself walking through the narrow, winding streets of Stone Town, the air filled with the scent of cloves and cardamom. The architecture itself tells a story, with intricately carved wooden doors and coral stone buildings. This wasn't a land of isolation. It was a global crossroads, a place where ideas, goods, and people mingled freely, creating a vibrant, syncretic civilization. Imagine the stories those ancient walls could tell if they could speak. Why not come and listen? Visit Tanzania, walk these historic streets, and feel the pulse of centuries of history beneath your feet. The richness of Africa isn't confined to its past. It lives and breathes in its people today. Think of the Maasai warriors of Kenya and Tanzania, their distinctive red shuka and intricate beadwork, a symbol of their deep connection to the land and their cattle. Or the Dogon people of Mali, whose complex understanding of cosmology and astronomical knowledge, particularly of the Sirius star system, has baffled researchers for decades. They hold ceremonies like the Segui festival only once every 60 years, a tradition stretching back into the mists of time, celebrating the cycle of life and the renewal of the world. But this brings up another question. How did the Dogon possess such detailed knowledge of stars invisible to the naked eye long before modern telescopes? They speak of a companion star to Sirius, a dense, heavy star, matching the description of Sirius B, which was only discovered by Western astronomy in the 19th century. Is it ancient wisdom passed down through generations, or is there another explanation we have yet to uncover? Let's explore the artistic heart of the continent. In Nigeria, the Kingdom of Benin produced some of the most sophisticated artworks in human history, the Benin bronzes. These thousands of brass and bronze plaques and sculptures adorned the royal palace, depicting historical events, courtly life, and mythological figures with breathtaking detail and realism. They weren't just art. They were a historical archive, a library cast in metal. The craft of lost wax casting was perfected to a degree that astounded the first Europeans who saw it. Tragically, many of these masterpieces were looted in the late 19th century and are now scattered in museums across the world, a painful reminder of a colonial past. Let's turn to the continent's warrior traditions. Everyone has heard of the Spartans, but have you heard of the Dahomey Amazons? An all-female military regiment from the Kingdom of Dahomey in present-day Benin. They were known as the Meno, or Our Mothers, and were renowned for their ferocity and discipline in battle. For centuries, they served as the king's personal bodyguards and frontline soldiers, instilling fear in their enemies. They were a core part of the kingdom's military strength. What kind of society not only allows but empowers women to become its most elite warriors? It challenges our preconceived notions of gender roles in history. And what about the great civilizations of the South? The Kingdom of Zimbabwe, meaning Great Houses of Stone, left behind a spectacular capital city now known as Great Zimbabwe. These massive stone walls and enclosures were built without any mortar, a testament to incredible engineering skill. For centuries, European colonists refused to believe that indigenous Africans could have constructed such a magnificent city, inventing fanciful stories of foreign builders. But archaeology has proven them wrong. This was the center of a vast trade network, a powerful African kingdom that thrived between the 11th and 10th centuries. Its decline is still a subject of debate. Was it climate change, a shift in trade routes, or something else entirely that caused its people to abandon this stone metropolis? The mystery endures. From the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela in Ethiopia, carved from single blocks of stone from the top down, to the vibrant rhythms of Congolese rumba that have influenced music across the globe, Africa is a continent of endless discovery. It's a place of breathtaking natural beauty, from the sprawling Okavango Delta to the dramatic landscapes of the Drakensberg Mountains. It's a place of innovation, a continent with the youngest population in the world, brimming with entrepreneurial spirit and creative energy. The story of Africa is not just one story, but millions. It is the story of humanity itself. It's a story of resilience, of innovation, of immense cultural wealth. It's a story that is still being written every single day. So, the next time you think of Africa, don't think of a single image. Think of a continent of wonders, of mysteries waiting to be solved, and of stories waiting to be heard. We've only scratched the surface. And there are still so many lost kingdoms, so many forgotten rulers, so many untold tales. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Be sure to subscribe to continue exploring the incredible, complex, and beautiful story of Africa with us. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our journey into the heart of history. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has captivated explorers, scientists, and dreamers for centuries: the origins of humankind and the incredible stories etched into the landscapes of Africa, specifically the breathtaking nation of Tanzania. When you think of places to visit in Tanzania, your mind might immediately jump to the vast plains of the Serengeti or the snowy peak of Kilimanjaro. And while those are absolutely must-see wonders, there's another layer to this land, a much older story waiting to be told. We're going to explore how Tanzania isn't just a destination for incredible safaris. It's a sacred ground for all of humanity. It's here, in the sun-drenched valleys and ancient rock formations, that we find some of the most profound clues about our own beginnings. This isn't just African history, it's human history. The artifacts and fossils unearthed here have completely reshaped our understanding of our own family tree. So, get ready, because we're about to travel back in time to a place where it all began, uncovering the hidden gems and profound African heritage sites that make Tanzania a truly unique place on Earth. Our story begins in the Great Rift Valley, a massive geological trench that slices through eastern Africa. This isn't just a scar on the landscape, it's the cradle of humanity. And nestled within it is a place that sounds like something out of an adventure novel. Olduvai Gorge, it's often called the cradle of mankind for a very good reason. For decades, the Leakey family, Louis and Mary, dedicated their lives to combing through its dusty layers. What they found here wasn't just old bones. They found our ancestors. Imagine the thrill of discovering tools, simple stones chipped and shaped by hands that existed millions of years ago. These weren't just rocks. They were the first signs of technology, the first evidence of intelligent, deliberate creation. These discoveries, these simple yet profound artifacts, connect us directly to our earliest relatives, Homo habilis, the handyman. Standing at the edge of Olduvai Gorge, you can almost feel the weight of time. It's one of those places to visit in Tanzania that really puts our own lives into perspective. It's a powerful reminder that the roots of our ingenuity and creativity run incredibly deep, all the way back to this very spot. From Olduvai, we journey to another extraordinary site, Lutoli. What makes Lutoli so special isn't a tool or a fossilized skull, but something even more personal and immediate: footprints. Preserved in volcanic ash for over 3.6 million years, these are the footprints of our ancient ancestors, Australopithecus afarensis. This isn't just a trail of prints. It's a snapshot of a moment in time. You can see the tracks of at least two individuals walking side by side, likely a family. Looking at these footprints, you can see the arch of their feet, the way their big toes pushed off the ground, just like ours do. They were walking upright, bipedally, freeing their hands to carry food, to hold their young, to create. It's an incredibly moving experience. These aren't just fossils. They are a direct physical link to a family that walked this earth millions of years before us. This African heritage site offers a form of African education that no textbook can replicate. It's a silent, powerful story of our journey, a testament to the very first steps of humanity taken right here in Tanzania. But the story of our origins isn't just about fossils and footprints. It's also about art, culture, and the development of the human mind. Our next stop takes us to the Kondoa Rock Art Sites, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that offers a different kind of window into the past. Spread across a series of rock shelters, these paintings are a vibrant, sprawling canvas of ancient life. Some of these paintings are thousands of years old. Created by hunter-gatherer societies and later by pastoralist groups, what you see here is a visual record of their world. There are elegant drawings of giraffes, elands, and other animals they hunted. There are scenes of people dancing, celebrating, and going about their daily lives. The artists used natural pigments, reds, yellows, and whites to bring these images to life. Looking at these paintings, you're not just looking at art. You're connecting with the minds of the people who created them. You're seeing the world through their eyes, understanding what was important to them. This is African culture in its purest, most ancient form. It shows us that the need to create, to communicate, and to leave a mark on the world is a fundamental part of the human experience, a tradition that began right here. These incredible sites, Olduvai Gorge, Lutoli, and the Kondoa Rock Art Sites, are more than just tourist attractions. They are pillars of our shared human story. They challenge the old narratives that often place the origins of civilization and culture outside of Africa. The evidence is undeniable. Africa, and specifically Tanzania, is not just a part of human history. It is the very foundation of it. The continent is the birthplace of our species, the origin point of technology, and the cradle of our artistic expression. This African education, grounded in tangible evidence, reshapes our global perspective. It reminds us that African history is world history. The innovations that began here, like the first tools at Olduvai, set in motion the entire trajectory of human development. The bipedal steps at Lutoli were a giant leap for all future generations. And the art at Kondoa reveals a cognitive and cultural sophistication that is as old as humanity itself. When you visit these places in Tanzania, you're not just a tourist. You are a pilgrim, returning to the source of it all, gaining a deeper appreciation for the continent's monumental contribution to our collective journey. As we bring our exploration to a close, let's reflect on what these discoveries truly mean. The artifacts we've seen and the stories we've uncovered are just relics of a distant past. They are living testaments to the deep and unbreakable bonds that connect every single one of us to this continent. These discoveries at places to visit in Tanzania underscore how deeply African history, and African culture are interwoven into the fabric of our shared human identity. Every tool, every footprint, every brushstroke on a cave wall is a thread in that magnificent tapestry. Hidden Africa reveals places to visit in Tanzania as sacred African heritage sites offering African education and lasting inspiration. They are classrooms without walls, teaching us about resilience, innovation, and the enduring human spirit. They are not just points on a map, but powerful symbols of our common origin and a source of pride for all humanity. This journey reminds us that to understand ourselves, we must first understand where we came from. And for all of us, that journey begins right here in the heart of Africa. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible adventure through time. If you found this journey as inspiring as I did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden wonders of our world. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next expedition. See you next time. From Black history and African awakening to the African Renaissance, these incredible places in Tanzania echo far beyond its borders. They tell a story that connects the entire African diaspora, weaving a rich tapestry of Pan-African history. Each site is a chapter in a much larger narrative, a narrative of resilience, identity, and shared heritage. Preserving this profound African legacy requires more than just admiration. It demands African unity, deep respect for our ancestors, and continuous, dedicated African research. Protecting these cultural treasures is a collective responsibility, a way to honor the past while inspiring future generations. It's about safeguarding the very soul of our history, ensuring the spirit of African pride and resilience endures. So, what do you think of these secret places to visit in Tanzania? If you're hungry for more, continue your journey with Hidden Africa. Next, explore our deep dive into the continent's greatest legends revealed. Check out our playlist on hidden African kingdoms and ancient African civilizations. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.